Mirabel Madrigal has won over the hearts of thousands of people. Her devotion to her family and saving their gifts was a heartwarming story and made her one of the best protagonists in Disney's recent films. However, when the end credits rolled, fans were disappointed that Mirabel wasn't confirmed to have gotten a gift of her own. So they did what fans do best. They immediately went to the internet to share their theories. Theories about what magical gift Mirabel may actually have. And we were curious which of these theoretical theories would truly be the best. I'm Kyle with Wicked Binge, and this is Mirabel's potential magical gifts, weak to powerful. As usual, we'll be starting with the weakest ranking and working our way up to the most powerful. Starting out with the weakest gift Mirabel could have is the gift of musical numbers. While Reddit user Crudbutt thought Mirabel might have a power like the one shown on Zoe's Infinite playlist, we have to argue that people breaking into musical numbers wouldn't have a lot of use, and it isn't anything out of the ordinary with Disney films. After all, a song can be a good way to get to the heart of the matter on an issue, but that's about as useful as it could get. Still, it's certainly an entertaining gift that would be pretty cool to have in your day-to-day life. So far, one of the more popular theories is that Mirabel is the next keeper of the miracle. Reddit user Nothing Really in You expanded on this idea, claiming that the reason Mirabel hadn't received a door of her own during her own initial ceremony at 5 was because the casita was waiting for Mirabel to take the role of the next matriarch. Now, as Abuela Alma never had a direct gift of her own, there is some division of if this role would count as a true gift. On the one hand, Mirabel was shown to have a connection with Casita that no one else in the family had. Even Alma didn't communicate with Casita as Mirabel had. This connection allowed Mirabel to see the cracks before anyone else, and made it so Mirabel had been the only one to reach the candle before the flame went out. On the other hand, Mirabel keeping the miracle safe didn't grant Mirabel any special abilities like with the rest of the Madrigals. But other users have made comments that the position of matriarch was not a gift in and of itself. Reddit user Spark Axolotl had a few ideas of what Mirabel's fit could be. One of them was the idea of Mirabel being the brain of her sisters. According to this theory, Luisa and Isabella filled the roles of brawn and beauty respectively. With Mirabel being the sister who had high intelligence, it would be an easy power to be overlooked, especially with the lack of a door of her own. This idea was supported by the fact that Mirabel was quick to figure out a solution once she realized Casita was developing cracks and the magic was failing. Mirabel was shown to be naturally curious.
Can you turn off the sand?
She was always working to improve things, be them with her homemade decorations or by taking on extra tasks around the home. Spark Axolotl guessed that if Mirabel was encouraged to use her gift of heightened intelligence, she would be able to come up with permanent solutions to issues like Luisa's mounting chores. Another idea Spark Axolotl had was that Mirabel may be able to use thread magic. The idea of using embroidery or sewing to put magic into something is an old practice. Mirabel was shown to have a talent when it came to sewing, with the film expressing that Mirabel had done all of the embroidery on her clothes herself and made Antonio the plush leopard. The belief of this practice is that an individual is able to place intentions as they thread, doing things such as casting protection charms or helping to ensure one's health. A subdued gift with a lot of possibilities and varying uses would also explain why Casita might decide not to gift her with a door yet. User Decarian suggested that Mirabel's power may simply be that she can control Casita. While both Abuela Alma and Mirabel are able to talk to Casita, Mirabel was shown to have a special connection to the home. Some have called the relationship playful or parental in a way, going with the idea that Casita is an extension of Pedro. The theory points out how Casita was always helping Mirabel with chores, expressing when it would be unable to help her when she was going through Bruno's room, and had shown the growing cracks so that Mirabel would be able to do something about it, and warn the rest of the family.
The tiles were falling and there were cracks everywhere.
Mirabel had also been the only one allowed to still try to save the candle representing the miracle while Casita shoved the rest of the family out. And the last thing that Casita had been able to do before the gift faded was use its power to shield Mirabel from the falling debris. This idea is also heavily supported by the fact that when Mirabel placed the doorknob in the front entrance, the magic was restored. and Casita quickly granted the entire home to Mirabel in place of a room, before greeting Mirabel again. User Evil Twin 2 pointed out that Mirabel may have been able to make fears come true. When Mirabel became the focus of Bruno's vision, Bruno had explained that the future was uncertain.
Like your future was undecided.
Mirabel would be able to either save the miracle or be the reason the gifts were lost forever. This is something that would make Mirabel a force to be reckoned with, once she knew what someone feared, like Luisa being weak or Isabella being imperfect. She would be able to devastate anyone that crossed her. Two Redditors, Safrist and Eggrite, both agreed that Mirabel likely controlled other people's gifts. It was pointed out that everyone around Mirabel had their powers changed based on how she interacted with them. For example, when Isabella began to vent about being imperfect, her power exploded and she was able to create a large amount of plant life she hadn't before.
Okay, get over here. Bring it in.
When Luisa expressed her fear about being weak, she was sapped of the rest of her strength. Eggrite had also pointed out that Mirabel giving Antonio a plush leopard and calling him an animal lover may have meant she had assigned him his power. Our bronze medal for most powerful potential gift goes to the idea that Mirabel's ability may be that she's able to amplify her family's gifts. There's a shared idea that Mirabel's presence encourages her family's gifts to become stronger than they had been. This was heavily implied in the scene where Mirabel and Isabella are confronting one another. Just as Isabella was lashing out at her sister and expressing how much pressure she was under to be perfect, she found she was able to create far more than simple flowers. With Mirabel's encouragement, Isabella went from being unaware of the extent of her powers to being able to spring up plants all over the village. This possible gift of Mirabel's was also hinted at when she was able to help Bruno complete the vision, able to see a solution to what he once believed was a hopeless situation. If this did end up being Mirabel's gift, it's interesting to think how much her influence would push the gifts of her family. Perhaps Julieta would be able to heal more than broken bones and scrapes. Maybe Antonia would be able to talk to insects. Taking the silver medal for most powerful potential gift is the idea that Mirabel can see through deceit. Reddit user Fancy Polka Dot pointed out the detail of Mirabel's glasses being green, and stated that it may have been a hint that it worked similar to Bruno's. With Bruno, when he was looking into the future, we saw his eyes take on a green glow. In the past, Disney has been known to use the color to amplify moments of importance, or suggest what a character's true intentions may be. In a single glance, Mirabel would be able to see everything at face value. Another user had commented on the theory, stating that with Mirabel able to see past a person's lies, it would be handy should outsiders come across the ENCANTO, considering the fact that the village had to hide away after initially being hunted down. The people would be wary of anyone showing up. Having a madrigal that could determine someone an ally would be irreplaceable. It would also be a handy gift when people would be looking to marry into the family, as Mariano had been shown to do during the movie. After all, there would be no guarantee that just because someone grew up in the ENCANTO, that they wouldn't have ill intentions. It's worth noting, however, that some believe that such a gift may be suppressed when not directly asked for, as seen with Dolores and her gift of enhanced hearing. This idea also gets some traction for another reason, the use of emerald. Yes, the color green does tie Bruno to his gift, but should Mirabel have a power similar to her Tio Bruno's, then it's worth taking into account that emeralds are known as gems to represent truth and revelations. This is one of the main reasons emeralds were used for Bruno's tablets. Finally, taking the gold medal for most powerful potential gift is slowing down time. To be able to control time itself would undeniably be the most impressive and powerful of not only these theories, but of all the Madrigal's gifts. This was something that was hinted at through Mirabel's song, Waiting on a Miracle, where Mirabel was dealing with the inner turmoil she felt at being denied a gift, and seeing her younger cousin Antonio be celebrated for receiving his own. User AC0380 pointed out that Mirabel had been able to interact with the things around her during the musical numbers that suggested Mirabel was naturally able to slow and stop everything around her. Those that agreed with this idea supplied that Mirabel likely didn't put much stock into the experience, since when these experiences occurred, she was in Casita, where magical things naturally happen all the time. She could easily mistake her powers for something the house was doing all on its own. But let us know in the comments section if you agree with our ranking, and tell us what we should cover next. Remember to hit that notification bell and binge more of our ENCANTO videos. But most importantly, stay wicked.